I'm really starting to get tired of getting nickeled and dimed to death with insurance costs, whether it is health insurance, whether it is home insurance, whether it is car insurance. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because my husband sent me a screenshot of an email that he received earlier today. We have Geico for our car insurance, right? We have two vehicles. We have my 2024 Ford Expedition, okay, Max, Limited Max. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's the big honking one that's got all the extra space in it, right? You would think I'm a soccer mom with 17 kids to drive around, but I'm not. We prefer the bigger vehicles. It feels safer. It's great for travel to go see, my husband's mom and brother in Georgia, or if we want to go anywhere else. But anyway, not the point. My husband has a 2018 Porsche Macan GTS. It's 7 years old vehicle, and this one's a newer vehicle. Let me explain to you guys what happened. So he sends me this picture. I'm trying to pull it up here so I can give you all the correct information. He sends me this picture because he had to update our Geico with our new address because we have moved from one city to another. And please explain to me why moving from one city to another raised our car insurance. We are still in the same vicinity-ish, right? It's not like we did anything crazy. We're not in a flood zone. We're not in a fire hazard zone. We're not in any of these things, yet it raised our insurance. Now, I'm not gonna pretend like it raised it some astronomical amount. It's an extra $4.32 for a 6-month premium. That's not the crazy part to me. The crazy part to me is we have no speeding tickets, we have no accidents, we have absolutely nothing bad on our driving records and have not for over a decade. There is nothing on there that we've gone against our insurance for or anything else. And our 6-month premium with the new $4.32 added to it because we've changed our zip code, our 6-month premium for car insurance for two vehicles is now $2,163.67. That's 6 months. So for an entire year, I'm going to math in my head, which isn't really the greatest, so we're going to just round up, $4,400 a year for two vehicles for coverage through Geico. Isn't Geico the one with that little lizard who runs around talking about switch to Geico, save 15%? If this is saving 15%, what in the actual HE double hockey sticks does it cost everywhere else, like AAA or whoever else does car insurance? Because at this point, my brain cannot think of it. This is crazy. So we're paying $4,400 a year, okay, for car insurance. Our homeowner's insurance, y'all, $6,000 for homeowner's insurance. Plus, even though we're not in a flood zone, we were like, we are in Florida, we should probably protect ourselves a little bit more. It was an extra like $650 to get flood insurance. So now we're at $4,400 and $6,600, which is down to 4 and up to 7, right? So we'll do it like that. We're at $11,000 a year just for insurances on the possibility of what if something happens and your insurance has to do something. That's just car and home. Don't forget about health insurance. Now, here's the fun part of health insurance. Because we are not W-2 employees for somebody, because we do own our own business, because we are entrepreneurs or whatever the word is, business owners, we have to supply our own insurance. I don't get to be part of the big clump of people under, United Healthcare or Humana or whatever else it is that most big corporations will use. When I was in corporate America and my husband was in corporate America, we had fantastic insurance at a very, very low rate. Now, this is also in 2008 to 2016-ish when we had corporate America insurance. First through my husband's company, which was amazing. And then when he left to start our business, and I was still corporate America for a while, through the company I worked for, insurance was amazing. We were paying for my husband, myself, and our daughter at the time, who was a toddler, right? We were paying, I think, maybe $150 to $200 a month for really good insurance. Now, by ourselves as business owners who don't have the corporation to fall back on, with help by, our offset, and I don't know how the tax stuff works. I'm going to pretend like I do. I don't even want to try to pretend like I do because I'm going to confuse y'all while I confuse myself. We are paying $1,000 a month for insurance, for shitty insurance at that, with a high deductible. We are paying $1,000 a month. So on top of our $11,000 for car insurance and homeowners insurance, we're adding another $12,000 a year in insurance for health insurance that fingers crossed, knock on wood, pray to the heavens, we never have to use. We are now at, cause math, $23,000 a year just in insurances. That is more than a lot of people in this country make in general for life, for living, for their home, for their, whether it's mortgage or rent, for their car, for their cell phones, for their food, for their daycare, for the kids, for all these different things. How? And then people wonder why people are so pissy when it comes to paying property tax or income tax or any of these other things and all the different insurances. Because why does it cost so much? Because the first thing that's going to happen, y'all, heaven forbid you get into any kind of accident, even if it's a fender bender or something goes wrong with your car and you need to, knock, a car insurance. I need to file a claim or whatever, right? And then the insurance goes, sure. Just pay your deductible. We'll get you covered. Whatever your deductible is, $500, $1,000, $2,000, who knows, on top of obviously your monthly payments. So you pay your deductible to get whatever done for your car that you need done. Guess what happens after that? They raise your effing rates every single time. Same thing with health insurance. You go to use your health insurance and the next time it's time to renew, they're like, I see you've used your health insurance this year. We don't like that. We want you to give us the money, but not actually need to use it. We're going to have to either cancel you or raise your rates again. Same thing with your homeowner's insurance. Heaven forbid you are in an area that has, hurricanes, floods, fires, anything happens to you. You're in, Western North Carolina. You're in anywhere in Florida that a hurricane hit. You're in the Palisades where you had the wildfires there. You're in Lahaina. You're in any of these places where a natural disaster has hit your home and you need to rely on your homeowner's insurance, and you call and you say, hey, my barn burned down or half my house is underwater or whatever it happens to be. And they go, yeah, we'll fix it. But then after that, you don't have coverage with us anymore. What have I been paying into for years upon years upon years if when I need the help, I can't get it? Now, here's the kicker. Y'all, you ready for the kicker? Hold on to your seats. The kicker is you legally have to have this shit. Why? Why is it imperative? I understand for homes. All right. I do understand for homes. And I guess I'm supposed to say I understand for cars, because if you have a mortgage or a car loan, it's not your property. And so the banks want to make sure that it's protected. Therefore, they make you get insurance. But this feels like the most pyramid scheme ever. And although it's not a pyramid scheme, but it feels more like a you scratch my back, I scratch yours amongst the big corporations and screw us, the little people, right? Because the amount that they charge is absolutely ridiculous. I was looking at this thing on X earlier from when Barack Obama and Joe Biden passed the, I don't know if it's the Affordable Care Act. I'm not going to say it's that, but I'm almost positive it's that. When they did something to change things with the insurance, the health insurance industry, basically, people were going from paying $300 a month for insurance with, a $4,000 or $5,000 deductible for their entire family to now paying closer to $1,000 or $1,500 a month for the same coverage, but then your deductible is now $15,000. And it made it so much harder to find a doctor, to be seen, to keep your coverage if you did have any kind of issue, or to get things covered when you needed it, to get the right prescriptions, to get the right referrals for whatever doctors you needed. Everything has gone to absolute crap over the last, 10, 15 years in the health industry and in health insurance. But the same thing can be said for homeowners insurance, for car insurance. State Farm was dropping people left and right in California. That's on Gavin Newsom, though, for not giving the homeowners insurance companies the raise that they needed, like the boost that they needed. The insurance companies needed to raise what they were charging the homeowners because of all of the fires and everything. Too many people were having to use their homeowners insurance, and State Farm didn't have enough money, sitting in their bank to basically come out of pocket and pay for all of it. And so they went to Gavin Newsom like, hey, listen, we need to start charging people a little bit more. And Gavin Newsom was like, well, no, you can't do that, because then nobody's going to move to California. So you can't charge anymore. You can only charge them what you've been charging them. And the State Farm said, well, then guess what? Deuces, Newsom, we can't be here. So then they leave, and then you have the fires in Pacific Palisades that gutted basically the perimeter of LA, everybody losing everything over there. Wildfires, no. Arson, yeah. But at the end of the day, we are forced to have this insurance that if we don't pay it, we're in trouble. But if we do pay it and need it, we're still technically in trouble because it's not doing what it says it's going to do for us. They're only like helping each other. The banks and the insurance companies are hand in hand or laying in bed together or whatever the phrasing might be. And you and I, we're just, shoveling money over to them every single month, just shoveling our hard-earned money away and getting nothing in return for it. This all started because of $4.63 added to our 6-month premium. But why is our 6-month premium so effing high when we have never had a claim on it? I don't understand these things. The house insurance, homeowners insurance. That being as much as it is absolutely crazy because here's the problem. Let's say your house is, let's just pull a number out of the hat. Let's say your house is $200,000, right? You paid $200,000 for your house. So then you go to get homeowners insurance and you're like, all right, well, we're going to insure you for $200,000. Well, here's the problem. If everything burned down to the ground or was wiped away by a tornado or a hurricane or whatever else, it's not going to cost you $200,000 to rebuild the house. That's what its market value is. Its appraisal rate is $200,000. It's going to cost you $100,000. So why am I insuring it for $200,000 and paying you guys a lot of money when I can insure it for the $100,000 it would actually cost and pay you half that money? These are things that I have questions about all the time because the insurance company is never going to say to you, hey, listen, you don't really have to pay for the $200,000 because that's just the appraisal or the market value or the whatever. We're only going to pay $100,000 to rebuild it. Maybe you only want to put insurance for up to $100,000, right? But they don't tell you that because that would save you money. And then what would that do for them? Then they'd be like bare bones because obviously they need so much more money for everything that's going on. Absolutely ridiculous. On top of that, you had the Federal Reserve just finish their 2-day meeting and they were like, you know what? I think we're going to hold where the interest rates are between, I think it's 4.25 and 4.5 interest rate. We're going to hold there because they're worried about what the tariffs are going to do. The tariffs between Canada and the United States, Mexico and the United States, every other country out there in the United States. They're worried about these tariffs, although they weren't worried about them ahead of time. And there's been tariffs back and forth forever for numerous things, numerous countries, whatever. But they're using that now as a reason to hold the interest rates where they are. Housing interest rates. Let's say you want to buy a house and you want like a 30-year fixed mortgage. I believe the interest rates are between, trying to remember what I looked at, 6.7% and 7.5% for a 30-year fixed mortgage feels accurate right now. Now that is lower than it was. It had gone up into like the 8s and stuff, maybe like a year ago. And in 2022 is when everything started shooting up with the interest rates going through the roof, right? 2024, right before Joe Biden dipped out, I think the Fed cut interest rates like 3 different times. They're talking about possibly cutting interest rates, two times during 2025. Fingers crossed, let's hope that happens. But then they're like, well, if we keep cutting rates, we're going to see a recession. What happens in a recession? I remember 2008 and the housing market crash, and some people lost everything and some people walked away like bandits. The ones who had some money were able to go out and buy these properties for pennies on the dollar because they were waiting for the ability to go out and buy these assets. So now, if we have another recession, are there going to be any people out there, regular Joe Schmoes, the blue collar workers, not the 1%ers, who are going to have those funds, that ability to go out and buy an asset, whether it's a house or a rental unit or a condo or a car or any of those kind of things? Will they have that ability, or are we all going to be freaking broke because we've been paying out the wazoo for insurance for so freaking long? It's just, I don't understand. I do understand because profit over people and greed is a real thing, and corporations are greedy and governments are greedy. I don't care whose government it is. Governments in general are greedy. All of it's greedy. I'm really pissed about car insurance being as high as it is. Is this normal? Like, when I was in high school, this is gonna, doesn't really matter. Obviously it was, 25 years ago. I'm 43 years old. But when I was in high school, I could fill up my tank for like $10 because gas or diesel. My first car was a 1975 diesel. No, what year was it? Oh, I don't remember the year. I believe it was a 1975 diesel Mercedes 750D. I think that's what it's called. It had a push start. I had to sit in the parking lot, junior year. I had to sit in the parking lot. And I waited till everybody left because this thing was big as a boat. If you guys know, you know. Massive moonroof, not a sunroof. This thing was massive. You could have put 12 people at the top of this thing. And I had to push a button, wait for everything to light up red, like it had to warm up, like you push the button and you had to wait for it to warm up. And then you had to pull this lever, which would start the car. And every single time, black stuff shot out the back of it. And I was like, nope, not doing this here, because the high school I went to, there was a lot of really wealthy, preppy kids driving their mom's Mercedes and Land Rovers or Range Rovers, whatever they had back then that was like the big to-do, Jeeps, all these different things. And here I am in my baby blue rusted little clunker that was loud as all get out. The radio was trash. The moonroof was, sometimes didn't want to close all the way, all of it, right? But I can remember the insurance as a 16-year-old driving was nothing compared to the insurance as a grown-ass woman who knows how to drive and has a clean driving record. I paid barely anything. I, as a 16-year-old, could afford to pay for gas and car insurance and a car payment while in high school. Now, as a grown woman with a family and, you know, doing our own thing and making money, I am like, okay, listen, we have to budget out for this insurance, that insurance, that insurance. Okay, what's the gas prices today? What's this? What's that? How is this like where we are? And if I'm remembering my high school days like that, the ease of being able to afford everything, what are people older than me, like y'all that are older than me watching this, what do you think of? My mom and my mother-in-law, we did a live stream with them like probably 2 years ago. My mother-in-law, my mom, my husband, my daughter, and myself, we rented a boat and we went out and hung out on the water, you know, because they were visiting us from Georgia and we wanted to go out and have fun. So we rented a pontoon and we went out and we had a conversation, and they were telling me how my mom was saying how when she was younger, all she needed was a nickel to go get a soda. A nickel, all right? When I was younger, you needed $1. You put $1 in, you got a soda. Now, if you go to Publix or Walmart or any place like that, you're at like $2.39 or $2.89 for a 20-ounce Coke or Pepsi or whatever else. You know what I mean? I understand that as time progresses, things will get more expensive, but it feels like it doesn't have to be that way. We allow it to be that way. Just like we talked about the eggs over the last however many weeks, and 2 years ago when they tried this shit the first time with the eggs, if you don't buy them, there is no high demand. Therefore, the low supply cannot be priced for a high demand. If nobody's buying it and they still need to sell it, they're going to lower the price to bring the people back in so they can sell what they have. If people would or could, the could being the operative word here, say F your insurance, and we all just stop with insurance or taxes. You know how people feel about that. No taxation without representation. If we all decided to just stop, what would happen? What would happen? We pay $1,000 a month for health insurance when I could go to the urgent care down the street and pay $150 one time, as opposed to going to an actual doctor's office, although urgent care is still an actual doctor's office, but going to a doctor's office, paying my copay, or if I haven't hit what is it called? Oh, hello, brain. I haven't hit my, no. Can't think of the word. Down payment's not it. What's the word? Brain, do your job. Deductible. There we go. If I haven't hit my deductible, instead of paying $150 at urgent care, I'm paying $700 over here because it has to go towards my deductible. Now, in order to hit my $15,000 deductible in a year, one of the three of us needs to get really hurt or really sick in order for that to happen, because by the time the year ends, if we haven't met our deductible, we just start over the next year and you're back to paying out the wazoo, even though you're already paying out the wazoo every month for insurance. Please, somebody make that shit make sense, because it does not. Whew. That is it. I love y'all. And completely off topic right now. We went outside today because it's been beautiful here today. High of 73 degrees. I put SPF 50 or zinc on my face. Still got a little sunburn. And I'm thinking to myself, man, it's been really nice out. I have on my wristbands because I get motion sickness. And so I need these if we're out on the water or anything like that. So I had these on, still a little because it was very choppy today. But I'm looking at the fact that there were so many people out today just enjoying the sun. And then I look and there's touchdown tornadoes in Illinois. And I think it was Ohio. Oh, Iowa or Ohio? I don't remember which one, and I apologize, that are going through a massive blizzard right now. So we have blizzards, tornadoes, and beautiful sunny days with people out on boats and in bikinis. Absolutely crazy to me how we have so many temperature zones in one country. Anyway, that's it. Squirrel Tribe. I love y'all. I would love your thoughts on car insurance, homeowners insurance, health insurance, taxes, all that stuff. Because the older I get, the more it pisses me off. I'm not even going to lie. The older I get, the more I'm like, I'm the one who's grumbling under my breath every single time I have to make a payment to any of these people. That is all. I love y'all.